You waiting for me?
The Bloody Truth About Afghanistan. My name is John Lemmy, the founder and conservative business journal and the host of the CBJ Real News Podcast Show, a.k.a. John DeLemmy's CBJ Real News Podcast Show. And I'm excited tonight to bring to you someone that is knowledgeable about the topic. And this topic tonight is the bloody truth about Afghanistan. So Staff Sergeant Thomas C. Church coming to you live from New York. Welcome to our show back. This is your second appearance, and you reached out to me and said, hey, John, I really want to get the real news out about Afghanistan. So share with everyone what's on your heart, the truth, and also a little about your background, why you're qualified. You're not like a Monday night quarterback or backseat quarterback with Afghanistan. You actually share with everyone kind of your background, your story. And guys, this is an episode you want to share, the episode you want to take notes on, episode you want to get all around Telegram, all around Rumble. This will be censored everywhere else, and obviously through our podcast platform. So, Sergeant Thomas, welcome. Thank you for your heart, and thank you for reaching out to me to say, hey, I want to get this news out.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I love your show. I think you're fantastic. I think what you do is extremely important, and I'm so glad to listen to you. I'm a huge fan now.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Show. I just think you're absolutely fantastic. I really
thank you, my brother. Thank you. So share everyone your background about what's like. You have a master's degree also, but you were boots on ground in Afghanistan.
I was, yes. I spent a little over a year in Afghanistan. One thing I want to make clear is what I hear a lot of, because people call me and reach out to me. We were not at war with the Afghan people. We were not at war with Afghanistan. Our mission was to chase bad guys and hunt bad guys. So that's what we did. We fought terrorism. And in the time that we were there doing what we did, we also trained their army, and we trained their police department, and we fortified their police department, and we supplied them equipment and so on and so forth. But we trained them, and also we helped the people of Afghanistan. Again, we were not at war with these people. We were chasing bad guys, and the bad guys were taking over. We hunted them, and we found them, and we were winning. This was not what they call an endless war. We pretty much had our presence there as an intelligence presence, and we basically kept the bad guys out. And it was a very important a distinction between being at war with a country. We were not at war with them. We were fighting terrorism. And right now, with what's going on, they say, "Oh, we have to stop the endless war." That is hypocrisy at the highest level. This is not an endless war. We brought our troops down to about 2,500 troops. That's smaller than the amount of troops that are in Italy. Are we at war with Italy? No, we're not. Okay. Not to mention, we're not saving anybody any money by pulling these troops out. There was absolutely positively no reason to have this hasty withdrawal that we did. No one was in danger. We had everything pretty much under control, and the Taliban was non-existent.
Wait, and Sergeant Thomas, I got to interject there. This is very important. The Taliban was non-existent, and something when we spoke earlier today, and you texted me earlier today, and you shared with me. Obviously, we just came off our We the People Fight Back event, and that's why I wasn't able to have you on my show Thursday or Friday. We had an amazing event, which we're going to share more about that tonight, about fighting back. And you said that's why we titled the bloody truth about Afghanistan. Women, ladies, just share. And this is uncensored, no holds barred. So just share the truth. What is going to happen? Like the Taliban was non-existent. Now they're taking over the country of Afghanistan.
Took it over in record time. There was absolutely no reason for this hasty withdrawal. Number one, if you're going to withdraw, you get your American citizens out first, right? All the contractors, all the people that worked for us, all the people that are under our employ, they go first. Then the people that are friends with our nation that that are probably going to be killed there. You protect them, you get them out. You don't necessarily bring them to the United States, but you can repatriate them to other neighboring countries, get them out safely. All right. Thirdly, you get out your equipment. All right. And then lastly, you get out your military, your force protection. And if one person in that force protection team gets yet a scratch on them, you bomb the living daylights out of the enemy on the way out, right. And you let them know that. And you know who let them know that? Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump dropped a bomb, the largest bomb outside of an atom bomb on the Taliban. Okay. And he told them, we're not playing games. He did it. And he would do it again.
Okay. And when was that, Sergeant? When was that, Sergeant?
That was when I believe when we pulled out of Libya, and they were trying to harass our troops on the way out, and he dropped a bomb on them. That was 2 years ago, and they knew that. Now, actually, that was his first year in office.
That's right.
Office.
And now you actually received an award from the UN for your recognition for.
I actually was recognized by the UN for my humanitarian efforts with battered women and orphan children in Afghanistan. That was a huge, actually, it was a huge honor. I didn't do it for that. It was just an accident that we were involved in it. We're human beings. We're soldiers. We're Americans. You can't do one job and you see something else happen and just ignore it. So we didn't ignore it. I didn't ignore it. I spearheaded a program, to protect the most vulnerable in Afghanistan. They had dealing with the police department. They had no way of preventing women from being battered or abused, and we tried to create an infrastructure and a way of protecting them. And we were told, you can't do that. And we said, what do you mean we can't do that? Oh, you can't build a building to protect women because they'll burn it down, they'll bomb it. I said, let them try. They know where we live. They want to bomb us. They don't bomb us. So they're not going to bomb these women. So we raised money, and we actually created a program to protect women who wanted to get out of abusive relationships. And it's very, very, very complex in countries like this. It's not as easy as you might think, but we did the best we could with the amount of time we had and the amount of resources we had. And it was very nice that to be recognized for it.
And right now, that's one of that's why we named it the bloody truth about Afghanistan. What's gonna happen right now? The slaughter you talk about right now. They're telling all the women businesses shut down, get out of business, go in your homes. I mean, they've good. Okay, yeah. So there's a combination of that question. Yeah. In other words, what's going on right now, obviously with the women and obviously with everything going on, like what's like right now is we're at 9:02 p.m. on August 25th, Wednesday evening. What's happening right now in Afghanistan?
Okay. The reason why I wanted to talk to you so eagerly is because this news cycle is happening so quickly. When you and I discussed speaking on the program, a week ago, so much has happened since then. It's hard to keep track. I'm so glad that that the crooked media, they're actually covering it, which I'm shocked. But what happened when we were first there and what's happening now is women who actually had jobs. They're saying, don't be caught in your office. You need to go home. You need to assume your role as a woman now. Don't let us see you with makeup or your nails painted or exposed hair. If you are, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be arrested. And you know what happens to women there when they're arrested?
What happens?
Oh, they're beaten. They're raped. All their rights are taken away. We had a situation there, and one of the reasons why I got involved in the UN effort to protect women is this woman was basically married off to a mullah, and a mullah is he's one of the high-ranking people in these tribes, and the woman was a very independent woman, and she had her own voice and she wanted to have her own life, so he began beating her. So her family wouldn't take her back, so she would go back with him and he would beat her again, and his own family used to beat her. And what they ended up doing was, one day she didn't recover from one of the beatings, so to cover up her death, they threw her down a well, and they said, oh, she killed herself. Well, what we did was something that they never heard of, and it's called forensics. And we said, well, I want to see the body, and I want to see the mechanism of injury. I want to see if that's what she really did. And the fact of the matter is, we exposed them. That's not what happened. The family had beat her. It wasn't just one person who attacked her. It was a few people. She had multiple attackers, and she didn't die from drowning down a well. She was thrown down the well. So what we did was we exposed that, and we created a case, and they went to trial. Okay, and that was very, very unheard of in that region. But I said, no, this is what needs to happen.
And
people
now
accountable for their acts.
And that's why right now, literally, the Taliban is, share everyone. The Taliban is threatening the deadline of the 31st, and right now there's tens of thousands of people just huddling up, and they're going to get slaughtered. I mean, killed. I mean, it's brutal.
I'm going to explain something to you right now. If the Taliban is not brutal, according to them, that's a sign of weakness. They're almost compelled to be as brutal as they possibly can. What they're going to do is they're going to exact revenge for the last 20 years. And they're going to exact revenge on anyone they feel sided with the United States or our allies. And let me tell you something. In the past 20 years, many Afghans, because we were not at war with Afghanistan. We were at war with terrorists and the Taliban. And what we did was we worked very closely with some very, very good people in Afghanistan. They actually are amazing people. They're robust people. They're adaptable, and they're very intelligent. And we worked very close to them, and we became we had allies there. And those people, each and every one of them, who accepted one single American dollar, is in danger right now.
I mean, this is the worst case scenario. How Biden is a criminal. I believe it's part of the China mission to control and kill. I mean, this is the worst strategic move by anybody in the United States military ever.
I agree that there is that we have a creeping issue with China. Set that aside for one moment. We'll use the Homeland Security part in a moment. Right now, one thing I can tell you, I think you're giving this guy too much credit. I think he's a complete and utter idiot. I think what he tried to do, and you could disagree with me, but
no, Sergeant Thomas, I highly doubt I will.
He got this great idea in April with his cronies and whoever is advising him, that wouldn't it be great if we got everybody out from Afghanistan by September 11th, the 20th anniversary of September 11th. And they floated this idea, and he thought it was a great idea. And he didn't want to hear anything from anyone else. He didn't want to hear about logistics. He wanted this to be his soundbite. He wanted this to be his bullet point. And it has become an absolute and utter logistics strategic disaster. Absolute disaster. Not to mention, what is he telling you? He's telling you we want to save money. So why are you leaving $40 billion worth of American equipment that taxpayers paid for over there? You're saying we don't want any more bloodshed. Well, there hasn't been any bloodshed, especially when Donald Trump was president. They wouldn't dare, lay a finger on an American. Okay, now you don't think there's going to be bloodshed? There's going to be fighting in the streets in the next few days if they don't get this right. I'm telling you right now, my prediction, There's going to be house to house fighting. There's going to be fighting in the streets. It's bound to happen because there's a vacuum of power. It happens every time there's a vacuum of power. Lastly, I want to talk about Jen Psaki, the press secretary. She's a child. I don't know who she thinks she is or who told her who she is. She should not be in that role of what she's doing. She's not a grown up. She's an ignorant child. To say that any American who expresses the desire to leave just needs to let us know. She said that with a straight face.
Sick.
Do you think there's any Americans there that want to stay?
Anyway, and what Americans do? Because people have asked a question like, what Americans are there, Sergeant Thomas? Well, what Americans are there?
So you have advisors, you have intelligence, which they should be taken care of, but they're not. And we also have private contractors. We have many private contractors, and they're being paid on government contracts. So when the government pulls out, do you think they want to stay there? Their job leaves when America pulls out. Their job doesn't exist anymore. Why in the world would they want to stay there? We are responsible for these people. We are responsible for the American private contractors that are in this country. All right, we actually assure their safety. Okay, so now that we just said you don't have a job anymore, they have to get them out of there. All right, and they could have gotten them out of there. They're part of our infrastructure. Right. And now, if our infrastructure leaves, they are supposed to leave with the infrastructure. They don't need to be there. So why she said that these are just people that just want to express their desire to leave is absolutely ignorant and ludicrous, and she should lose her job for that. But again, people on that side don't lose their jobs, do they?
I mean, you look at the complete debacle, like out of nowhere, because
they impeached President Trump over a phone call. Okay. And I don't like gloom and doom. I usually hope things get better. But as soon as the first American gets captured, God forbid, okay, or injured or killed, who's responsible for this? Who is running the White House? They're like children. They're not. There's no grown-ups running the White House, and they have a doddering old fool at the helm. That according to me, I can't see any way this guy was actually voted in.
No, I mean, he's stolen. We know that.
They wanted to get rid of Trump so bad that they put this guy in. They had no idea what the consequences were, and the consequences will continue. And by the way, we're looking at this, at what's going on there right now, and they have no idea who they're dealing with. We know what the sharpened end of the spear of the Taliban feels like because we stood in front of it. They don't know. Like I said, I don't mean to disparage anybody, but this press secretary, Jen Psaki, is an ignorant child. That's right. The way I can describe her. When I see her talking, I just see a child who doesn't know what they're talking about. They're basically repeating what the grown-ups are saying. All right. She's never been to war. She doesn't know who she's dealing with. Okay. And unfortunately, neither do the people that are surrounding Biden. Biden knows, but he's not doing anything about this. Do you remember the images that we got of the American sailors with their hands on their head?
In Iran, like that.
Yeah. But by the Iranians, that was during the Obama administration. Okay, and it was kept quiet. That's an abomination. Okay, this is what you get when you have an Obama. This is what you get when you have a Biden, and it's not going to get any better. By the way, where is Kamala Harris? Where is Kamala Harris right now? Do you know where she is?
Laughing something. Yeah,
she's in Hanoi. She's in Vietnam. Okay, she's visiting Vietnam. Okay. That's where she is. By the way, let me ask you another question. Do you remember this Jim Acosta from CNN, how tough he was on the president? And when they asked him, like, why are you so tough on Donald Trump? He goes, well, we need to be tough on our world leaders. Where is he now? Where is Jim Acosta from CNN? Why isn't he asking Joe Biden pointed questions and harassing questions? Where is he?
I believe this was a total setup from Obama, because Obama to me was Muslim Brotherhood, and leaving all the equipment. I mean, the helicopters. I mean, they set up the Taliban to be more equipped than most military around the world is. You couldn't make up this ludicrous story. I
So
mean,
if the Russians and the Chinese don't come in and train these guys to use these helicopters, they're going to sell the helicopters and they're going to make money for themselves. They're going to enrich their organization.
does it make
Okay.
any sense? We left. There's how many Chinooks there? How many helicopters?
I had the list. It's a tremendous amount. We're talking about billions of dollars of American built equipment with American taxpayer money, billions of dollars. So don't tell me about infrastructure. Don't tell me about COVID relief. Don't tell me about anything. All your money is right there. Go get it. Okay.
And then once, like what you said earlier, when we began the interview tonight, Sergeant Thomas, you said about they wouldn't dare do anything on the President Trump because he would bomb the crap out of them. I mean, right now they are threatening the United States. Get out by the 31st, or the bloodshed is going to be brutal. I mean, how many Americans you believe are there? And I mean, they're going to go door to door. I mean, and literally just
Americans. There are thousands of Americans still
thousands
with no plan of getting them out. By the way, Bagram. Let me give you a little background. Number one, I patrolled Kabul. Okay, I did 236 missions in Kabul and the surrounding areas. We made it all the way to the border of Pakistan. Okay, I know every inch of that area. That's number one. Number two, I was hospitalized in Bagram. Okay, and they were going to send me home, and I begged them not to. I said, I don't want to leave. If my team stays, I stay. And I stayed, and I was the last boot to leave Kabul. When our team left, I was the last boot to leave Kabul. Okay, so to see what's happening now is absolutely heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. I can't tell you enough. And I'm just one person. Could you imagine all the other soldiers, the soldiers that gave their limbs, the soldiers that left their brothers, bleeding, and by the way, we never left anybody. But what I'm saying is they gave their lives and they died 27, so many miles away from home. Okay. And this happened for 20 years. These veterans, they don't want sympathy. They don't want anybody's sympathy.
That's right.
They did it because they wanted to do it, because they're good men and women in uniform, and they did a great job. They did a fantastic job. Okay. But we're slapping them in the face right now. What mother and father today is going to dream and say, I want my child to go into the military? Who's going to say that right now? They're going to say, no, don't you dare. Because this is what they do to soldiers.
So when we say that, I want to thank all of you watching and thank all of you sharing. Make sure you guys do follow us on Telegram. Those of you on Telegram, just search out CBJ Real News and join the channel and share this to all of your Telegram contacts and groups you're in. And also make sure all of you that are on Rumble right now, make sure you guys comment, share. Sergeant Thomas will take your questions live, so make sure you guys do comment. And remember, on Rumble, you can chat on the smartphone under the video, and then on a laptop or desktop, you guys got to hit refresh to refresh the comments, because Facebook, we're massively censored and so forth. And I appreciate all of you guys sharing. This is the brutal truth. I mean, this is the brutal, bloody truth. I mean, because I see your heart and your emotions. You said, I wrote down 236 missions, and you were the last boot on the ground to leave with your men there. There's so much fear. These people are scared to death because the Taliban, I mean, they're from hell. I mean, they're Satan on boots. I mean, they want to lacerate, murder, rape, destroy, kill people. And
they're going to teach these people a lesson that you shouldn't have done what you did. You shouldn't have sided with the Allies. You shouldn't have sided with the Americans and the French and the British. They're going to teach them a lesson, and that's their mandate. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm not sugarcoating it.
No, I want you to take even more sugar off it, Sergeant Thomas. Well, you got to unleash. This is important because we have to get somebody to realize all the people that are still, all the idiots that were Trump's racist, Trump's bad tweets, guys. There's tens of thousands of people. Like I spoke to someone who was a SEAL Team 6 member in Afghanistan for many years, and he said they actually rape the boys in front of the parents and say, I'm still a virgin to Allah, and then he raped the girls in front of the parents and will kill the parents.
Like terrible things have happened, and like I said, when you marry your daughter off to a bad family, it's the whole family beats her. The whole family breaks her. It's not just the man. It's the mother. It's the sisters. It's just that's the way it is. When a person, okay, so in the United States, in New York State, and I think you were a New Yorker one time, right?
Oh yeah, yep. You hear the accent, yep.
Yeah. So I parked my car in New York, and the guy in a yellow car behind me hits my car while it's parked. I can tell it was his car because there's a scuff on his car and there's yellow paint on my car, right? But unless I complain about it, nobody cares. That's how murder is in Afghanistan. If somebody murders somebody, and there's no family member to stand up and say, "Hey, they murdered my sibling," nobody cares. See, that's the problem we have. It's not a normal environment that Westerners are used to. Okay, unless you have a strong family that petitions and says, "Look, they did this to us. They killed our family. They did this. They did that." The law does nothing about it. And it's not just it is definitely the Taliban that we have to worry about there, but there's also the opportunistic thugs and thieves and cutthroats that are there. We fought crime in Kabul. That's what we did. We trained the police department. The police department couldn't really stand on their own, so we ended up kicking down doors, and we were doing police work. Our team was doing police.
And tell everyone, and I see we have Lois on, who's married to, we call it General Lois. She's married to Captain Wayne Smith, who spoke at my event this weekend. He's been on my show twice. He served 5 years, 2 months. He did 90 missions in Vietnam, was shot down, and he was 5 years, 2 months as a prisoner of war in Hanoi. And his wife Lois is on tonight. We call it General Lois. And she says she asked about Blinken. Now Blinken is all just share your personal feelings and be uncensored, please. No holds barred about Blinken.
I don't like that. I'm not accustomed to doing that. But this guy Blinken, he's a holdover from the Obama administration. They just dusted him off and brought him back. This guy doesn't know a thing. You know what? He might know something because he's denying that this was even his idea. Do you see? Where Biden is an old-time politician, and this is what they asked for. They wanted to be lied to again. We know what's happening in front of our eyes, and we have this politician soothsaying and telling us how everything's wonderful, which is absolutely correct. So now he's got this guy Blinken, who he thinks he can throw under the bus. Well, Blinken's not going to get thrown under the bus, okay? As inept as he is, he covered himself to say this was not my idea. Okay, he's a soothsayer just like everyone else, but he made it very clear this was not his idea. So if Biden wants to later on, purge and blame, he's going to have a hard time doing it with this guy Blinken. But Blinken again is another inept, ridiculous talking head who's not telling the truth.
No, they're not telling the truth. And there's no fear from the enemy. They're controlling the United States right now, and it's I know it's horrific for you to hear that. So tell everybody what's happening at the airport, like when all those thousands of people are there. Like what is happening right now? People trying to get out in the airport. What's going to happen when his deadline hits to those people that are basically funneled into I call it a killing zone.
It's going to be it is a killing. It's a killing zone, and it's actually a. It's an exploitive zone, and it's an opportunistic zone. They're funneling everyone through. These people know better. Afghans are not dumb people. They know not to go through that zone. That's useless to them. They know if they go through that, they're going to be robbed. They're going to be exploited. If they give the wrong word or if they give the wrong look, they're going to be beaten or killed. They know better. We've known that all the while. We caught Afghans at checkpoints shaking people down. That's what they do. They rob you, they'll shake you down, and we punish them for that. We corrected them. They weren't allowed to do that. That was back when we were there. Okay, we caught them doing stuff like that, stealing people's weapons. Every home's allowed to protect themselves with an AK-47. Every home should have an AK-47. Okay, that's how you protect your home, because there's no other protection. You can't really rely on anybody else but yourself. So they stole people's weapons. They stole people's everything. Okay. And now this funnel to get to the airport, this is just another opportunity. They're just making it easier for the Taliban to exploit the people. And it's the weakest people who are going to be exploited.
And it's thousands of them. You have a Christmas
Tens of
You know,
thousands.
man.
like someone just said, you know, what's happening to these people that are, you know, making their way to the airport, kind of what you're talking about, and why is it so absurd what Biden said about, oh, just find your way to the airport. Same thing with Jen Psaki, like they can just stroll up to the airport.
I mean, I think it's a setup for murder. I think, I mean, you know the way I feel about
And
Joe
if-
Biden. That's why I'm banned on YouTube for life. Joe Biden's a murderer. I mean, Joe Biden's got blood from abortion to this. He's a dope. I mean, he's a moron. I mean, I believe it's a setup for him. They're putting people into a killing pot.
They are putting people into a killing pot. They really are. They're leading people to the. It's like it's like the Native Americans. You would have to walk through the line and get beaten all the way. Did you know that? Or like to be in a gang, you have to go through the battle line and everybody gives you a punch. These people are going through this line and they're getting exploited all the way through.
Because I mean, I guess there's nowhere. I mean, like someone says, there's nowhere else to go. Like they're just waiting to be killed.
It's a tremendous form of victimization, and I heard 2 days ago. Like I said, the news cycle has changed so much. The logistical nightmare was such that these planes were taking off half full. So you have all these thousands of people outside the airport who can't get in, and you have airplanes that are flying half full. I've seen things like this happen. I've seen logistical nightmares in my life. Remember, I worked for the government for 20 years. I've seen logistical nightmares, but none as bad as this. Okay? There is nobody driving the bus. There is nobody at the helm. They wanted a soundbite. They wanted to get the troops out, the 20-year anniversary of 9/11, and this is the disaster they have.
It's a disaster. I mean, when I look at it from the outside, and as a military person in America, obviously someone who loves America and loves the military, leaving all of the equipment there, leaving all the weapons there, just leaving them there, and then pulling them out, and Taliban comes in. I mean, in a Taliban, you know, someone asked a question: the difference of Taliban and ISIS. Can you have another question, Christy? What?
Well, just onto the weapons, Biden alluded to the fact that we were going to be able to get the weapons and equipment that we left there back.
He's a liar. He's a liar. He's been, first of all he does is lie. There's no truth that comes out of his mouth. He lied all through his campaign, and he's lying now. Nobody voted for Biden. Okay.
We know that.
Okay. Well, the people who actually legitimately voted against Trump, they voted against Trump. They didn't vote for Biden. Nobody voted for Biden. They put billions and billions of dollars into this campaign. This guy didn't even campaign. He sat in his basement. Okay, for the whole time. He's nothing but a puppet. So who is running this country right now? I'd really like to know. But what they did was the sacrificial lambs are these people that are getting up there and saying, we have no idea how many Americans are in there. You have no idea how many Americans are in there?
That's right.
You have no idea how many Americans are in Afghanistan?
What's your estimate, Sergeant?
I think it's in the I think it's in the tens of thousands.
You mean 10,000, 20,000, 8,000?
No, I would say about 12,000, and I'm only saying that because when you have troops of 2,500 troops, you still have to rely on a huge infrastructure, and I'm talking about everybody, caterers, people who serve the food and cook the food.
Sure.
Truck drivers, to people who aren't even involved in the actual force protection mission at all, but they're involved in other things like getting the mail going or delivering fuel, engineers who work on the electricity, plumbers. Remember, these countries have to run, and before the Americans went to Afghanistan 20 years ago, there was a decades-long brain drain. Anybody who knew anything, and engineers and plumbers and farmers and cattlemen, they all left Afghanistan. Remember, they were in war with Russia, and Russia either killed all the smart people, or the smart people left. So there was no one there to really run the country. Not to say that these people are inept or dumb people. They just didn't have the type of people they needed. So for the past 20 years, and I know because I've trained civilians to stay alive that actually went there great Americans who are retired cattlemen, who are retired farmers, who are retired engineers that actually went there on their own dime to train Afghans to rebuild their country. They've been doing it for 20 years, and they're still there.
I mean, and you're saying, I mean, I wrote the number down, 12,000 Americans. Guys, let that sink in a little bit. This is, station identification. This is John DeLemmy's CBJ Real News podcast show. Make sure you follow us on Telegram. Search out CBJ Real News. Join the channel, share. Make sure on Rumble you guys can comment and share, because Facebook, my time is very, very limited. So make sure you guys do follow us on Rumble. Subscribe so you get notified when we go live, and comment on Rumble. And obviously I'll be going through our sponsors here when I conclude the show. I want to thank all of you. We had a record-breaking 24 hours, correct, on the conservativemarketplace.com. And guys, that's how we make this happen. Our sponsors and supporters, we just added all of our new artwork in there. Dr. Krista's book, The 8 Secrets That Will Destroy the Pharmaceutical Companies. She was live last night exposing all of the COVID scam and the vaccine. I think we moved close to 50 of her books last night. We had a few of my books move. We had the red, white, and blue earrings move. We had patriotic pins move, all the patriotic hats. Guys, conservativemarketplace.com. They can't silence the real news. We appreciate you guys visiting, and I'll read the full list once I conclude the interview with Sergeant Thomas. And so, guys, conservativemarketplace.com. Make sure all of you also download our podcast app on your smartphone. And you do that by you guys go to cbjrealnews.com. It says get the app now, 4 words, get the app now. And you listen to the audio version of our podcast. I want to thank all the listeners on Google, on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Deezer, radio.com, Radio Public, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Odyssey, Stitcher, Amazon Audible, Spreaker, Player.fm. And just go to Google Play Store or Apple Store, search out Conservative Business Journal. The app comes up, and then just hit subscribe. It's free. And then you could do a search for Church, and you'll see Staff Sergeant Thomas Church episode come up, and share this. And this is why we get the real news out, because they're lying. This is 12,000 troops. This is a debacle. It's a debacle.
12,000 American.
12,000 American. My apologies. Sorry about that. Yes, 12,000 Americans. The Taliban hates Americans. They would kill everyone.
They would be putting themselves in peril if they did. And I'll tell you,
unpack it again, please, sir. Unpack. You said they would be putting themselves in peril if they did not kill them.
No, if they did kill them. If they want to kill Americans, I'm telling you, this failure is so big that they can't hide it. I'm telling you, the American people will compel the White House to act. Okay, and the White House will have to act. They won't have any choice.
I just don't. They're so sick. They're so sick and demented, from Pelosi to Schumer to you're in New York with Nadler. They're just so sick. I mean, how could this go on?
You have to see New York City. I'm born and raised here. It's so bad. I've never seen it this bad in my life, and I grew up in the 70s. I've never seen it this bad. I've never seen the homeless problem as bad as it is. The crime rate is out of control. The filth.
Yeah, John is on tonight. That's why I met you, Sergeant Thomas, through John Moore. I've had John on numerous times on 125th Street Pizza in West Harlem. So, even as we a few more questions here, it's amazing. Instantaneously, it became a debacle. Like, what went through your mind when you first heard this Afghanistan? Like, wait a minute, is this like a comedy show? Like, they just did this?
Well, Biden is the dumb kid in the schoolyard who just got his milk money stolen. There's no other way around. That's exactly what went through my head. Biden is the dumb kid in the schoolyard who just got his milk money stolen by the Taliban. He thinks he can reason with them, and he thinks he can have a deal with them. Okay. Full disclosure. The previous administration, Donald Trump and Mike Pompeo, was got to deal with the Taliban because they wanted to get out. But to Donald Trump's credit, he was advised, sir, we can't do it this way. If you can't trust them, if you trust them, it's going to go bad. And he says, you're right. Let's keep a footprint there. And he actually reversed himself because he's a bright man and he listened to people. They say that the White House was chaotic during Trump. No, it wasn't. He surrounded himself with with type A personalities, and all type A personalities, they're strong personalities and they disagree with each other. And he likes that. And he likes the disagreement. He likes the discussion because he's an adult, because he was a doer, because he did amazing things. And I'm not saying this isn't a Trump show. I'm just saying you're talking about a leader that got so much done under tremendous headwinds. Everyone was against him. The amount of abuse that was thrown at Donald J. Trump, and the fact that he could accomplish all that he accomplished was nothing less than a miracle. It was absolutely amazing. So now you have a president, if you want to call him that, who has the media on his side, who has everyone on his side, and he can't get one thing done.
Nothing. I mean, this is, and I don't call him the president because he didn't win. He's a criminal. He's a Bernie Madoff. That's in there right now.
He's not the president. This was a complete this is a complete sham, an absolute sham. And I'm sorry to say that because I've defended, and every president I've had. I'm a retired soldier. I'm a soldier. I'll be a soldier till the day I die, and I'll always follow my commander in chief. But I'm having trouble. I'm very conflicted right now. Very conflicted with what's going on.
I mean, it's
not going to get better. Everything we did was reversed, and I'm telling you, we were not at war. We weren't spending billions of dollars. We didn't have soldiers dying, Americans dying. We had a footprint there. We had a very strategic and intelligence eye in the sky, if you will, and we had control of the region. He had absolutely positively no reason to do what he did with this pullout, except to make a soundbite on TV that he on the anniversary of 9/11 he pulled the troops out. That was it, and what a disaster it has become.
I mean, it looks like the anniversary is going to be worse than, not worse than, because that was brutal.
Can you imagine? With these Tunnel to Towers guys and stuff like that. Frank Siller. They're trying to commemorate, and they're doing it under the cloud of this. You have to ask yourself, well, I don't want to ever say that because I know each and every one of my brothers and sisters in uniform. They all did a fantastic job. They put their lives in harm's way. They sacrificed themselves from their families. Some of these people, these mothers, they left when their child was a baby, and they didn't come home until the child was walking and talking. Could you imagine losing, and men too, these fathers? Imagine you leave and your child is in diapers, and then you come home and the kid is standing there and looking at you saying, "Hey, Dad, I barely know you." You'll never get that back. They sacrifice so much for their families. Right. Not to mention the soldiers that sacrificed their lives that never came back. We lost 5 soldiers in 2 weeks, 5 people that I call my friends. But I don't think it was a waste. I'll never say that.
That's right.
I think what we did, we sacrificed them. We knew the dangers.
And I think that's an important message too, because the soldiers are going to go through so much, obviously PTSD and the suicide. These right now, you got this moron, this debacle Biden up there, and I mean, he did everything. I want to ask you 2 more questions, and we can wrap it up. It's just been a powerful show, but there was a strategic way to remove the troops.
Absolutely.
And this is the complete opposite. It's the worst way to do it. I like you to share what they should have done and what President Trump. Going back to when we first began the interview, they wouldn't have raised a thumb or a finger at the United States under Trump. Now you were like sitting there like a little scared cat.
Now we have to negotiate with the bully. But here's the thing. What you initially do, if you really want to leave, which there was no reason to leave because we had 2,500 troops there. They were just there logistically, and we need a presence in that region. We need a presence in the region, just like we have a presence in Europe, just like we have a presence in Korea, just like we have a presence everywhere. Okay, we needed a presence there. That's all that we have troops in Alaska. Okay.
Can you share that? Can you share that? Because somebody said I didn't know we had troops in Italy. Can you share what this is a huge point. We have a presence in most countries around the world.
Of course, but it's not an offensive presence. It's a supportive presence.
That's good.
We have interests in countries, and we have We have trade with countries, and they have shipping ports and stuff like that, and they like the Americans there. We're part of their infrastructure. A lot of countries can't afford security and stuff like that, but we can't afford to not have safety in those regions. So that's why we're there. Are we? They say, "Oh, you don't want to be the world police." Yeah, but it's in our interest. It's in our interest to protect ports. It's in our interest to protect oil fields. It's absolutely in our interest. Okay,
and it's already the meeting for us as U.S. citizens. As I see other people, I see General Lois on, and Lorene on, and Mimi on. Mimi, we're praying for you and your brother there. We're every day for you, and I see John is on. I see Kevin. I see Kevin. Kevin says that he's a contractor. I think Kevin, you said that your contracting job is now up within a month or two, and he's was in the Air Force, retired Air Force, been on my show numerous times, spoke on my last event back in April. And he's a black conservative that was overseas when Trump walked down the escalator and said that Trump would beat Clinton. So he obviously understands leadership and commitment and the whole red line. I mean, there's no red line now. They're just destroying us.
Well, so they're establishing the red line. We're not. They are. And that's
huge. Say that again, please. That's huge.
The Taliban is establishing the red line, not the American, and that is laughable. It's absolutely laughable. Okay. These guys are not, biker gangs are gentlemen compared to these people. These people are wanton rapists, and the murder, the rape, and the maiming is what they do. Those are their tools of the trade. But besides that, they're going to steal everything that's not nailed down. Okay, and they're going to manipulate, and they're going to exploit every human being that is under their watch. That's how they work. That's how it works.
I mean, I just wrote that down 46 minutes in. Can you give another recap about that, Sergeant Thomas C. Church, what their narrative is, who they are, what they're going to do? You just said it's phenomenal.
The Taliban, I'll say it again, they almost have to be brutal. They have to show these people that never invite the allies in here again, or the Americans in here again to help you. Okay, they're going to teach these people a lesson. It's going to happen on the 31st. It's going to happen on September 1st. It's going to happen on September 11th. And it's going to go on and on and on. And you're not going to get any reports from it, because the liberal media is going to pull out their reporters, and the reporters who get secret photos and stuff like that. They're just going to bury it. So it's going to go away. The news cycle is going to go away eventually. And then someday someone's going to write a book, and they're going to talk about the atrocities, but it's not going to happen right away. It's not going to happen in real time. And by the way, the American people, they don't want to hear it anyway. And that's the honest truth. It's going to get bad over there, just like it got bad when President Ford left Southeast Asia. It got absolutely bad. And a movie came out in the 1980s called The Killing Fields. And it didn't make a lot of money, but it was about what happened in Cambodia, what happened in that area after we left. It just got horrible for the people. It just got terrible.
I mean, it's 12,000 Americans there. I mean, that's 12,000.
That's the problem. We talk about 12,000. It may be a little more, maybe a little less. Let's hope it's less, but let's hope it's not one more American. It's not the number. It's the policy. If you're a contractor, and by the way, I've been approached, obviously, with my background, to do contract work and stuff like that, and I would happily do it. But doing it knowing that you could be abandoned, I don't know about that. I don't know.
That's a key word you just said. This administration just abandoned, just left them there like they just left out to dry and die.
This Jen Psaki, they should run that soundbite every day where she says, if Americans express their desire to leave, they should let us know. Kidding? Who is running this country? Why didn't somebody grab her by the scruff of her neck and pull her off the podium when she said that?
Oh, I bet.
And they tried to impeach Donald J. Trump for a phone call? Are you serious? We have Americans in danger in this country. We have billions of dollars of equipment left behind. We're fools to the rest of the world. The world that nobody's going to negotiate with us. We have no standing right now. Absolutely.
God's going to move. As I said, people go, how? I don't know how, but there was no rain when Noah built the ark and David slew Goliath, because this is, you couldn't write this debacle. I mean, you couldn't write a
We
screenplay on
stand
this.
by and letting this happen. Americans are not dumb, but they've been hypnotized by the mainstream media. The mainstream media has hypnotized them into thinking, just the look of somebody. Let me tell you something. Just the way I look is bad enough for some people. They don't know who I voted for or what I do. They just don't like the way I look.
Look, that's what we deal with it all the time with us. They tried to cancel our event last week. We had an amazing event. So the next question about the difference of Taliban and ISIS. We had that early in the interview. What's the difference of Taliban and ISIS?
Well, ISIS came up. It's just another faction of these you want to call them animals. They're just another organization. And by the way, not to change the subject, we'll get back to that in a minute. By the way, there's a new what is it, ISIS K or something like that, or Taliban K? There's another faction that we have to worry about now. Did you hear about that? So,
yep.
How did Biden, when he was doing this planning and he knew that there were terrorist organizations in the region, how did he think that this was going to be a seamless pullout? How do you think
there was no strategy for seamless pullout? He just said, "Let's go, leave billions of dollars equipment and tens of thousands of Americans there, and just, hey guys, we're pulling out of Afghanistan." He's just a friggin' idiot. I mean, he's a nut job. He's gone. He's just a nut job.
I don't think there's any adults running the White House right now. They're more worried about critical race theory and talking about equality in the military. You want equality in the military? Do what we did. Just put a bunch of guys of different colors and backgrounds together. Let us all share the same meals. Let us all sleep in the same barracks. Let us all sweat together. Let us all train together and work together. And we never had any issues. Are we perfect? Is the American military perfect? No. But we don't have systemic racism. We're all the same. I got news for you. There were many soldiers of color who had better careers than I did. These guys are amazing guys. They're amazing Americans. And we all loved each other and we all call each other brother. And every time we see each other, we give each other a hug. So where's systemic racism? Why are you teaching this in the military? We respect women, okay? We respect female soldiers. We respect officers, whatever, male, female, however long their hair is. If you're an officer, you're an officer. You're respected and you're saluted. What is this whole thing that they're teaching now? Why do we need this? You want to see inclusion? Inclusion is when 20, 30, 40, 50 soldiers are crawling through the mud at the same time. And we're not checking to see who's black or Puerto Rican or Irish. We're all
ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
So it's absolutely just it's this, and that's why we got to pray, we got to believe, and we got to expose. And that's why we talk about the mainstream media is the lamestream media, and that's why we, as you know, we're banned and censored on YouTube for life. I mean, this is a topic and that's why I appreciate all of you, all the listeners, subscribers, and those of you supporting the conservative marketplace. We just have, I want to thank, somebody just came in right now. I want to thank Judy from Ohio, who just purchased the Fate Doesn't Make Sense, Why Makes Miracle quote card, a focus poster, a courage poster, and one of my 7 principles to live a champion life book. And this is actually my new, she purchased this. This is the new courage poster. We just released this weekend. Wow. And this is for all of our troops. It says, courage is just a word until you take a risk based only on your faith in God and your God-given talents. And I think, Sergeant, you'll like this one. She just purchased the focus. And these are all printed here locally from a small printer, a small local business here. We support conservatives. The eagle, the sovereign animal.
Absolutely love it.
So I want to thank Judy, guys. All this is a third order. All these are available conservativemarketplace.com. This is how we take the media down. I talked all about that over the weekend at our event. This is so important. We have to, as Americans, rally up. And what you just said, you get 40, 50, 60 guys under enemy attack in a foxhole crawling through mud. That systemic racism is ridiculous. I mean, you're definitely a white supremacist. I'm a white supremacist. It's stupid. It's just like there's no debate. It's dumb. But right now you get the point, guys. It's not funny no more. It's deadly.
When my sergeant is black and I trust him with my life. How am I racist? How am I racist?
I mean, John Moore's an Irish guy. Now, Notre Dame, the leprechaun is racism. Now, did you hear that today?
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, if you guys go on DuckDuckGo and look up Notre Dame leprechaun mascot, they're after them now. It's John Moore. I think John is on. John, you want to get wound up? Look at that. And this is why we have to expose these idiots. But we got to pray real strong because, like you said, like Biden goes, oh, August 31st, they're not going to listen to him.
No.
I mean, and they're funneling and share everyone. Then we'll conclude this airport. I mean, who's flying these Americans out? Who is the transportation? Who are these jets?
American heroes are flying them out, and American heroes who are actually in. It's more dangerous now than it was when I flew. When I flew in a combat zone, and let me tell you something. It's much more dangerous now. Because we did combat landings, and let me tell you, a combat landing, it feels like you hit a cement floor and you didn't even land yet. That's just the C-130 dropping because you can't come in gradually. If you come in gradually, you're a long target. And so they would just do the sudden drop, and you thought you hit a brick wall, and you didn't even land yet. And then they would land. And that's called a combat landing with a C-130. It's something you got to experience. But these pilots who are taking off and landing in this area, and they're at risk. They have no air support. They have really no force protection to think of. The soldiers that are there now, they're basically working as they're trying to keep things under control. So they're not. They're not protecting these planes going in and out. They just can't. They're overwhelmed. They have other tasks at hand. This is a logistical and strategical nightmare, and those pilots are absolute heroes to fly in and out of this area where anybody can take them down at any time.
So, what is the deadline? Final question, Sergeant Thomas. Anyone also any question you guys can put in the chat? You could chat and Rumble any questions you like. Any questions in any of our chat?
I'm going to tell you quickly what should have happened. What should have happened was if they decided in April we need to get them out, they should have done a surge, which means you double the amount of troops you have there. And say, oh, what are you doing? Well, we're going to deploy them, and they're only going to be deployed for 6 months. We'll get them in there, get them acclimated, and we'll take control of the region, okay, the area, all right? And now start funneling people out. Start funneling out all our American contractors first. Then we have to vet all the people who worked with us closely who feel that their lives are in danger. They don't have to come to the United States, but they can go to other neighboring countries where they'll be safe. Great. Even as far as Greece, wherever you want to bring them, but you vet them and you get them out. But you could do that between April and now, no problem, with double the amount of troops that we have there. So there's a little bit of a surge, and then we start getting people out. The reason why you do that is because you logistically have to move all that equipment out of there. Everything that's in storage, all that stuff, and whatever you can't take with you, whatever you don't think you have to take with you, you blow it in place. You destroy it in place. No problem. Okay? Once you do all that, once that's done, that's when you start taking your soldiers out. And you tell the Taliban, listen, guys, hold back. You do one thing to us, we're going to come back at you double. Okay? You shoot at us, you die. And that's how we work. You shoot at us, you die. We have bigger guns than you do, and we shoot better than you do. You shoot at us, you die. So come for us. And they'll say, no. And then they'll let our American troops out. Once our American troops are out, you go in with the fighter jets and you bomb everything down to the Stone Age. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about our facilities. So they can't use our facilities. And you're done. And you're done. And
they did the complete opposite.
They didn't do any of that.
Because let me tell you, from my perspective, as a conservative political commentator, what I do, quote unquote, as all of you guys, you got to take a look. We updated my bio, all of you know, because really of who we are. I will share topics that most conservative talking heads won't because they're afraid of losing their paychecks or their sponsorships.
Correct.
I believe this was orchestrated by Obama, by the Muslim Brotherhood, because he's in bed with them. He's protecting them. Because right now the Taliban was given billions of dollars of equipment and thousands of lives to brutalize and murder, which is a Taliban ISIS mindset. You can't orchestrate this complete. It's like the border and this put together. You can't make this up unless you have an ulterior motive to kill Americans and destroy American culture. It's it's unreal what's going on down there.
I
I mean,
mean,
you guys have to realize this. This
we
is what, you know what? So I want to thank, like, this is, you talk about, you know, we're not going to be silenced. You know, we're not going to be silenced. And you can't silence us anymore. All of,
Someone asked, where are all these people being flown to?
you know, and I want you guys to, because I want to give you guys an attitude of strength in America to stand strong. Don't let them cower down. Obama is, I said this when he first got elected, it was his term. He's Muslim Brotherhood. He created Black Lives Matter. ISIS exploded under him. Trump came in, bombed the crap out of him, destroyed him. Now they're taking over. They got the whole country. So the question is, for Christy, where are the people going, Sergeant, right now?
Thousands of people.
The thousands being flown out that are getting out.
Okay, are you talking about the American contractors?
Who's ever in the airplanes getting out before the 31st?
For you, I get to you, and I don't know how I feel about it, but they just dropped 3,300 Afghan civilians into America. I don't know if you know that.
Where in America? Is that on top of the 1 million illegal aliens?
Well, we have aliens being bussed into every state in the union right now. They're not being vetted for any criminal background, and they're not even being tested for COVID. So these people walk around with their masks on and stuff like that. I mean, what's
stupid?
Who are they kidding?
It's stupid. I mean, it's stupid with the mask thing. It's, I mean, and the now all that really is part of a burqa anyway. It's all it really is. It's control. I mean, so on the 31st.
Yeah.
When that deadline hits, that airport is shut down and under control of the Taliban. I want everyone else to include on that. Let that sink in. So those people that are there at the airport on the 31st, which is only it's Sunday, right?
Correct.
Monday.
Correct. They better start getting out now. It's going to be, if there's one camera left there to see what's going to happen on that day, I hope the images come out, are released. I hope they don't get squashed, because it's going to be a disaster. If you think it's ugly now, it's going to be a disaster. People are wading through sewage right now to get close to the airport. I don't know if you know that. They're wading through sewage. They're walking.
Tell us more about that, please.
Okay, so there is a sewage area where they dump, where the where the waste and everything go through.
Sure.
And they couldn't get through the front of the building. There was these HESCO barriers that separated the entrance to the airport with the sewage, and so the people couldn't get through the front. So what they did is they corralled around the back, and they walked through the sewage just to get close enough to this barrier to make it over the wall. And they're handing their children to the American soldiers. They're like, look, I may not be able to get out, but have my child get out. How desperate are these people?
It's brutal. I mean, the 31st, those thousands of lives there is under control of Taliban.
Correct.
Guys, that's how simple it comes down to. Like, that's what it comes down to.
Correct.
That's And they're not going to say, "Hey, Biden, we'll extend it to September 4th."
No. I mean, we're at their mercy. We are at the mercy of the good graces of the Taliban right now. And the Taliban don't want to hear it, because we had it for 20 years, and they have no respect for our new president, and they know that nothing's going to happen to them. So they could care less. And that's not speculation. That's not me pontificating.
No, that's a fact.
That's the fact. This would never ever have happened under the Trump administration. Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, he wanted to get us out, and they reasoned with him. And they said, "Look, sir, there's really no reason to get the rest of the troops out. There's no one's dying. It's strategically prudent for us to be there." And he goes, "You know what? You're right."
What you said earlier too. I think what you said, Thomas, was important, Sergeant Thomas, about we have troops in Italy, we have troops everywhere, because it's our best interest for ports, for the oil. It's just no one's dying.
No.
There'll be more people dying on August 31st within an hour that died in almost 20 years down there. I mean, not 20, excuse me.
If there's going to be a forensic number that comes out within the year, the amount of, well, first of all, right now, the billions of dollars we're losing in taxpayer money with the equipment we're leaving behind is just, it's a sin. It's almost like you're numb, because the amount of money is just so huge. You can't even fathom it. Do you know what $1 billion is? It's $1,000 million. 1,000 million is $1 billion. Could you imagine $100 billion worth of equipment or $84 billion worth of equipment? Okay. That we're just
Left,
leaving.
just,
Not
just,
only leaving it,
just left there to give to Osama bin Laden, basically.
well, basically giving it to our enemies to use against us to work in that region. They'll fill these trucks up with diesel and they'll drive with impunity because these are armored vehicles. They have ammunition. They have M4s. Oh, by the way, one thing I do like to tell you that the American M4 assault weapon in the hands of an untrained soldier will be worthless, will be useless within a very short period of time, because those weapons need to be maintained by a trained soldier. So they're not going to be using our M4s against us. Trust me.
I mean, do you ever think you'd have a conversation about billions of dollars of warfare, weapons in the arms of the Taliban, ISIS, and this guy just leaves it? I mean, that's why I don't give him the recognition. He's not the president. He's a criminal. All the people behind it, they're going to fry and burn real soon. Chrissy, any final questions for the sergeant tonight? But this is real news. I mean, what do you want to say to people for what can they do? We'll have thousands and thousands through the re-listen. We'll have tens of thousands of people listen to this during the replay and the rebroadcast on all of our podcast platforms.
I mean, we have to start really watching the real news, and we have to start voting, because I know there's a lot of good people out there who want good things to happen. Nobody wants high crime. Nobody wants high gas prices or runaway inflation, looking like fools in front of the rest of the world. Nobody wants this, but we need to go out and we need to vote, and we need to vote for our local leaders, and we need to vote for our state leaders, and we need to vote for in the midterms, and we need to vote, because there is a movement right now to steal the American vote away from the American people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
These votes are bought and paid for. These people are harvesting ballots. They're coercing people. They're giving illegal aliens driver's licenses so they can vote. It's actually, I never thought I'd see this in my lifetime. And listen, I don't mind anybody, but you can't break the law and steal votes. And it starts from the ground up. It starts with everybody. And we really need to vote these people out. The people, you know, President Donald J. Trump got more votes than any other president in history, and they stole it from him.
Yeah, I'm going to have on my show, and you guys can write this down on Monday night. It's Monday, September 1st, correct, Christy? I'm going to have Candace Taylor, who's running for the governor of Georgia, and she is, and Lynn Wood has I met Candace through Lynn, and Lynn is promoting Candace. I'm promoting Candace, and she's all for the forensic audits in Georgia. She's the one that called Kemp out way back when. I'm actually going to have Lynn Wood will be on my show next 48 hours we're going to unpack, because he talks about forensic audits. We need to get these elections figured out before, because 2022 is going to be just a debacle if we don't. That's why this is, and I'll let you go at this point, Sergeant Thomas. From my perspective, as someone that's a conservative political commentator, what we do, this is just another massive, deadly distraction from the audits and the root of election fraud and integrity.
I'm going to leave you
every time. It's now there's a Delta variant. There's all the crap going on with the lockdowns. I mean, these people are fighting about mask mandates, and you got 12,000 Americans in Afghanistan in a friggin' funnel of death. And you got Psaki talking about an idiot. If they want to leave. I mean, guys, it's a distraction. That's why I share these episodes, get this out, and have the faith to stand strong. All of you are the mainstream. You are on your main street, in your house, in your neighborhood, it goes city, county, state, United States. Control your city first. Then you get the county. Then you get the state, then you get United States of America. That's where we have to work, our neighborhoods. Beat cops, as you know, as law enforcement, our beat cop. It's crazy. I mean, it's going to take the move with we the people. 1776, we're in a verge right now, because people are going to snap about it, because I don't think they truly understand 31st, it's game on time. It's going to be massive murder and rape. I mean, I spoke to you earlier. I had a great friend of mine, SEAL Team 6. He's done 1,018 missions in Afghanistan. Was there for 12 years straight. Brutal. He's not ready yet to come live back on my show and discuss what's going on. I had my first video removed off Rumble, and they re-put it up because he sent me 4 videos from intel that he got from people in Afghanistan, and Rumble removed it. The brutality of the people laying dead in the street, just dead bodies on the street. just knocking on doors and shooting and killing people, and then raping the boys and saying, "Allah, I'm still a virgin." I witnessed that. I mean, this is not a game. All you friggin' idiots that are, well, we don't like Trump, we like this. There's no Democrats left. This is brutality right now.
Yeah.
Final words, sir, for friend. Besides your good friends with a leprechaun who's a racist, John Moore, who's on tonight.
Leprechaun friend, God bless him. Listen, John, I just want to I thank you so much for what you do in your program. This is an amazing program. Everyone's got to watch it. I'm going to turn everybody on to your podcast. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to leave you one last thing. When Antifa and Black Lives Matter were dropping truckloads of rioters in each one of these cities over the summer, okay? They were coming in with brand new printed T-shirts and signs and umbrellas and sticks and bricks, okay? And they were dropping them off strategically around the city. You don't think they did that when it came to voting? You don't think they did that? You don't think they filled these cities, these swing states, with these people? They have millions and millions of dollars behind them. We have to fight back.
Like what Lynn Wood said today, let's put a blockade around Atlanta for the forensic. Put a bunch of pro-MAGA Trump truck drivers and blockade the city of Atlanta, shut the city of Atlanta down until they do a forensic audit of the election. We're going to talk about the blockade. And then we're starting something on September 11th called strikebackforfreedom.com. The word strike, the word back, the word FOR, strikebackforfreedom.com. We're going to get all conservative businesses, conservative influences together, zip codes, and shut down this fiasco and mess. But August 31st, guys, pray hard. Pray for the troops, for the flag. Pray for the men and women that, like you said earlier, they were the infrastructure, people that delivered the mail, people that made the food, people that cleaned the dishes, people that cleaned the clean just clothing, all the infrastructure of the Americans in Afghanistan.
Electricians, truck drivers. Who do you think is running the place?
It's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you, Sergeant Thomas C. Church. You're awesome. God bless you. I appreciate it. Anytime, just text me out, give me a call. We get some more intel. Pop back. I know it was going to be a 30-minute show, an hour and 10 minutes, but it's well worth it.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I mean, that's real news, right, Christy? I mean, that's what's going on right now in Afghanistan. That's brutal. That's brutal. And guys, this is got to realize, if I wasn't banned on YouTube as of this show, I would be. They're going to rape, murder, and it's going to be just a pilferage on August 31st, like that, the Taliban, right? So before I continue with the show, I want to do a little station identification. I want to thank all of you supporting us through the conservativemarketplace.com. In case you have not heard about it, and I'm going to read, we had a surge in the last 24 hours, and I thank from the bottom of my heart all of you supporting and patronizing all the patrons across the country. Quick commercial. I'll do a quick recap, and then I got to follow news points. And guys, I appreciate it. ConservativeMarketplace.com. This is how we make it happen. I want to give a huge shout out. Who just invested in 6 Dr. Krista books?
Kim from Minnesota.
Kim from Minnesota just invested in 6 of Dr. Krista's book that was written 2 years ago, more timely than ever. The 8 secrets that will destroy the pharmaceutical companies. And I want to give a shout out, and then I'm going to come back to the show with some more news. I want to give a shout out to To Carol from Georgia, who grabbed a hold of We the People Are Pissed hat, a Dr. Krista book. Antonio A. from California, a Dr. Krista book. Victoria W. from Illinois, Dr. Krista book. William Lamb from South Carolina, who I will see this Saturday at the tribute that Christy and I are hosting for one of our best friends, Pressy Stutz, who was murdered by the medical system in South Carolina. William Lamb, a 1776 pin, a We the People pin, a Dr. Krista book. Park T from Texas, a Dr. Krista book. Patricia B from Rhode Island, a Dr. Krista book. Pamela B from Louisiana, 5 Fate Stands in Fear on red, white, and blue wristbands. A Making Capitalism Great Again book, one of the books I've written. Lori G from Pennsylvania, Susan from Maryland, Dr. Krista book. Teresa A from Pennsylvania, Dr. Krista book. Denise from Washington, Dr. Krista book. Timothy T from Florida, Dr. Krista book. Janice G, Christina S, Florence W, Gail R, all ordered a Dr. Krista book. And Judy, We the People Fight Back. We the People Are Pissed hat. 5 Fate Stands Fear on bracelets. A Dr. Krista book. Susanna, Dr. Krista book. Joy, the red, white, and blue flag earrings I'm not wearing tonight because I don't identify as a female that wear earrings tonight. Right, Christy? And Jim Hammonds, my man Jim, who's on Rumble tonight. A Make Capitalism Great Again book. 5 Fate Stands Fear on bracelets. A flag crossbin, a Dr. Krista book. Margaret, Dr. Krista book. And Brian from New York ordered Don't Blame Me, I Voted for Trump hat. Guys, thank you so very much for making all this possible. So support Conservative Marketplace. This is how we make it happen. This is how we, thank you, Neva. Great show. Neva, I love your comment last night about wearing your Fate Stands Fear on shirt and people commenting about it. Thank you, Mimi. Great show. Thank you, Doobie, Sergeant Church. Thank you, sir. Patrick. Thanks, John. And guys, I just want to realize this is what the real news is about. We have to expose the truth and make sure you guys share this and make sure you guys, realize this is how we shut down the radical left. All of you do your part. This weekend, we had an amazing We the People Fight Back event. Standing room only. We have a boatload of reviews. You guys are going to see a tremendous amount of videos coming out, reviews coming out. Plus, we're making some great montages. I want you guys to realize you are very important, special people that you can take this country back. What is going on right now in Afghanistan is brutal, right, Christy? I mean, Joe Biden is a schmuck. Jen Stock is an idiot. And if you don't verbalize that in your own personality and stand strong, and if you're a so-called Christian, you got blood in your hands between the abortion, like John Moore. I just saw what you said. What John said that the flying illegal aliens are landing in Westchester County Airport at night, literally by the plane load. That's brutal. And we got to pray. We got to pray that God moves and he removes the criminal. The military takes over the country, and then the military makes a decision who runs the country. This can't go on much longer. Afghanistan is going to be a slaughterhouse on August 31st. You do understand that, correct? I mean, they're counting down the seconds. And I will most likely have a SEAL Team 6 member on my show next week. He's just not ready yet to come live. And I just have to forewarn all of you, it will be brutal. It will be graphic. He will tell you what's going on as we're on the show live. All right, Christy? Right. So I appreciate all of you. And I appreciate all of you that were at our event, the We the People Fight Back event. I appreciate all of the reviews that have come in. Like this champion said, pure class without an attitude. An amazing event of excellent speakers, singers, meals. It was inspiring. And as Ella said, you spoke to Ella today. Mike and I would like to personally thank you for being the warriors that you are and putting it on events that are so informative and empowering. We the people need all the intellectual power we can gather to fight the lunatic left. You sure empowered me. The 2 days were certainly educational. The Hilton and your team sure did an amazing job of making our stay in the event very enjoyable. All the speakers are so friendly, informative, engaging. We even made a few new friends. Be blessed, and we the people must continue to fight back and take this country back from the demonic socialists. And we will be making an announcement for our next 2-day We the People Fight Back event. Most likely within the first 2 weeks of January. We're not going to put it in December. Some of you said December with travel, family, Christmas parties, all this kind of stuff. So we're going to move it to kick off 2022. And I do want to do a quick shout out, and I'll just read the names. And I want to thank Patty K, Bill and Marilyn B. All these champions invested in their 2-for-1 ticket special. If you guys were at the event, you know what I'm speaking about. You haven't acted yet. Call or text right now, 561-847-3467, or email team, TEAM team @conservativebusinessjournal.com and secure your 2-for-1 special. Patty K grabbed the hold of 2 specials. Bill and Marilyn B grabbed the hold of 1. Terry R 2. Scott C 1. John and Caddy M 3 specials. Patty, Paul and Diane M 2 specials. David and Annette C 1 special. Neil and Kathy from Massachusetts 1 special. Jerry and Kathy R 1 special. Clovis and Patricia 2 specials. They drove in from Missouri, and they're the ones that say, what I have a desire to change the world. They drove because they won't wear a mask on a plane. They'll be back once again. Jim and Gina from Georgia grabbed the hold of a special package. Lori a package. Jim and Carol D. Dr. Iron Peggy from Virginia, who I spoke to today, who was just overflowing as he said, wow, what an event. We're so proud to call you friends and mentors, amazing speakers, and really wakes you up about the fight ahead and how we have to become more active. Everything ran like clockwork and perfectly. Hotel was phenomenal. Food was great. Entertainment was also amazing. Congratulations. I'm very proud of what you're doing for this country and the organization you're developing. Love, Dr. Iron Peggy. They're from Virginia. They'll be back once again. John M. from Florida. Shirley W. from Florida. Jerry and Micah are from Florida. Diana Deanna from Florida. And also Bill and Karen and Chloe and Judith and Steve and Wanda and Tim and Debbie and Anna G and Wade and P and Mark and Carol Smith and Liz Appling all grabbed the hold of the 2-for-1 specials. We the people fight back. We appreciate you guys. I want to thank all the sponsors and supporters at the event. That's why we do what we do.
Debbie from California just grabbed the Don't Tread on My Freedom hat.
Nice. So my favorite hat right here. Debbie from where, Christy?
California.
Boy, California. I'm going to be interviewing. I spoke to Rebecca Friedrichs today. I'm interviewing the young lady running for Secretary of State that has that. What is she? She's got the sex bill that she's promoting. They going against all the crazy sex stuff in California. So watch for that announcement. We're going to have her on my show. So Debbie, you're awesome. Debbie got Don't Tread on My Freedom hat. How awesome is that? And guys, this is what it's all about. And I appreciate it. Yes, and I believe in recognizing people. I recognize people. Those of you that show up and put up your attitude and put up at the events. You know what? I'm there. I'm up front. I'm taking notes. I mean, our event, you see all the pictures and everything that we've been doing. And that's why we have to fight back. We can't let this happen, continue to happen in America. Just the destruction of this country is brutal. Is brutal. So that's what. So guys, I appreciate all of you, and I mean, we just had an amazing event. And let me just share with you, Dr. Linda Lee Tarver, who was there, and she just tore it up about what she talked about BLM and I'm going to have her on my show again next week, Dr. Linda Lee Tarver, and she will be speaking once again at our next We the People Fight Back event. Her and her husband Clint came in from Michigan. What an event, right? And she spoke about where Black Lives Matter is now Black Votes Matter. That's how they stole the election. Watch, this is powerful. This is a quick 60-second clip.
We're paid actors to tear up cities and destruction, to instill fear, because COVID did not affect the BLM movement.
Right.
It only Republicans who were protesting the lockdowns were you super spreaders,
right.
But certainly not people tearing up and trying to break into police stations in the city that I live in. And so the Black Lives Matter transitioned, and I'm telling you this is what they did, from Black Lives Matter to Black Votes Matter. Yep. They were paid, again, actors to perpetrate this fraud. The Word of God in Ephesians 5:11 says, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Amen.
Expose them. Luke 12:2-3 says that the secrets will be uncovered, the truth will come forth, and God's thought about every behavior and action will be vindicated.
Wow, expose them, guys. That's what we have to do, is expose them. Expose them. Powerful show tonight. Guys, I appreciate you sharing. My name is John Lemmy, the host of John Lemmy's CBJ Real News Podcast Show. God bless all of you. Make sure you follow, share. Make sure those of you that are listening, make sure you follow me on Telegram. On Telegram, I post on a regular basis, and every time we go live, and instantaneously, the Rumble replay is available for you. Facebook sometimes disappears. So make sure you guys do follow us on Telegram. Just search CBJ Real News, CBJ Real News, join channel. Share it everywhere. And I appreciate you guys patronizing conservativemarketplace.com. conservativemarketplace.com. and obviously on Rumble too. I see Jim Hammond's Fired Up Jim is now chatting on Rumble because it's just, my days are numbered on Facebook. So there's no question we're numbered. So make sure you guys move over to Rumble and you can chat all the way. So guys, God bless all of you till our show tomorrow night. I'm going to have Lynn Wood on in the next 48 hours. We're just going through our schedule and we'll confirm that. And no, next Monday night I have Candace Taylor scheduled for the CBJ Real News Podcast show. Thank all of you, the supporters and sponsors, and I thank all of you that were supporters and sponsors of our event, because we can't. This is how we. And guys, I want you to patronize these businesses. Make sure all of you that are at the event. How about the world famous name tag? Namu is an American patriot, right? She loved this name tag. Our name tag is a high class, top of the line, because we believe all of you. How about our menu at the VIP dinner, right? How about the food at the VIP dinner, right? How about our 23-page training workbook at the event? Powerful, right? So guys, make sure you support our sponsors, from STZ Network to Kingdom Plan Advisory Group to 239realestatedeals.com, which was the swag bag sponsor. Make sure you also patronize My Pillow, as Mike blessed us with 200 plus Liberty Lady pillows, the We the People pillows. Make sure, and we appreciate you when you go to mypillow.com to use promo code CBJ. Everyone at the event got one of these as a bonus, right? The We the People pillow. We the People fight back. We the People pillow, right? So we appreciate that. And you got a Constitution and you got a flag. So make sure you guys support the. I just want to give a shout out to the sponsors, and this is important. I want it to Gwen Novak, who's a conservative ghostwriter, Freedom One Coffee of Lawton, freedomonecoffee.com, and Schofield, Mimi Schofield, Schofield Productions, and Latasha Pretty Lips Company, who secured her sponsorship for the next event. There's only 14 spots available. We obviously sold out this one. We will sell out the next one. Mark of Excellence Construction, doTERRA of Mark and Carol from Mark Carol Smith, Mark of Excellence Construction, Hallie and Steve from Ohio, doTERRA, and then Lost World Museum, John and Kristen Adolphi, lostworldmuseum.com, Jeff Wallace, who did the great quiz on the Constitution during lunch, and then Kathy Frederick's art, kathyfrederickart.com. Watch for some of her artwork up in Conservative Marketplace real soon. And Biologics Center for Optimal Health. Thank you for your support. And Alex B. for getting 2 VIP tables at dinner and bringing some great people. The couple from Vegas was in there, and Mauricio's sister. We got to post the Maria clip of me singing. We haven't posted that yet, right? Can you post that tonight? All right, guys. With that said, good night. God bless. Thank you. You're awesome. And Neva, thank you for all the support, and thank you for all you do. And I just saw also that you wear your pin. You wore it twice to school. You wore it the last 2 days in a row. That's how we make a difference. You're out there, guys. All of you are very important people. Very important, special people making a difference. God bless you guys. Have a good night. Thank you very much. And share this episode about the brutal truth of Afghanistan. Good night. God bless. Thank you.